Well, we actually got a reasonably dry day, so it's time to get to work. And by work today, what we mean is using this guy. I love this thing. It's been wonderful. It's the STIHL combi system motor with an extension pole and the pole trimmer on the end of it. And with this standing, I can reach limbs that are 10 to 15 feet up without a problem. So that's really nice. So what we're going to be doing today is going down the fence line on the outside of the pasture and trying to cut off limbs that would hit the tractor if I drove through there. What I wanted to have was a path all the way around the field on the outside of the fence to mow and be able to keep it up. And I mostly have that space-wise, but I have a bunch of limbs on trees that are hanging out into that'll hit the tractor, and I'd rather not scratch it up if I can going through there. So we're going to take this thing today and just see how much we can get cut down, and then we'll get the tractor in there with the grapple and carry it out. So let's get cutting. I don't really love that. As you can see, it's pretty windy today, so I've had to give up on wearing my hat, which I would prefer to wear because the sun is out and I hate wearing sunscreen on my face. It's awful. So I'll just have to limit how long I'm out here. Anyway, this machine is pretty great. So we have our end here, which is really a, what is this, 11-inch chainsaw, basically. And we've actually got a reservoir up here for chain oil. So you just have to keep that topped off and it's good. It puts a pretty good load on it. You can feel. I've used this motor with a trimmer and an edger before, but with this actually seems to put quite a bit more load on it than either of those without an issue. But hey, you can't argue with the results. It goes through trees really nice and quickly. So nothing to complain about with it. It's pretty great. So more trees to cut. So you may wonder why I would use something so huge to take off stuff that you could easily reach with a small chainsaw, which of course I have a small chainsaw. But the reason is very simple. These hackberry trees are a pain to get inside. And so when they're sticking out and they're, dense junk like this, it's a pain to get in under them and try to get your hands up and get a chainsaw in there. It's just a pain in the neck. Whereas sticking the end of this thing in from a distance and cutting what you need is really quite easy. So even for limbing stuff that's real low, I like this thing a lot. Also, it's a good time of year to be doing this. There's no leaves on the trees, so it's easy to see the branches. It's easier to move around because the limbs don't get caught up as much on the leaves of the limb next to them. And it's starting to get dry and it's cool out too, so a nice time to work outside. Oh, and I sound out of breath. 2 reasons. This thing is heavy, so this is probably, I don't know, if I were to guess, it's probably somewhere between 10 and 20 pounds. Hard to say exactly, but maybe 15. But it's pretty heavy. And worse, when you're holding it out like that, it's even heavier. So, but it's okay. It's balanced halfway decently. The weight of the motor back here and the weight of the saw on the end, not that they're equal, but that one's a lot further out, so you get a halfway decent balance on it, but still, it's a lot to control that far out. But we're gonna cut a little bit more, and then we're gonna get the grapple out here, see if we can get some of this stuff picked up, and we'll call this a day. This big monster needs to come up. This is sticking too far out. There. Well, look who got curious about what we're doing. They had to come over and see. I suppose I made too much noise and probably woke them up from their nap. But yeah, it's all right. Well, that's all the cutting I think we have to do today. We've got a nice, decently wide lane going up behind me. I'm not trying to get, all the trees down. I'm not trying to get the tractor right over against the bottom of the trees. I want to leave a lot of this roughage here, but I do want to be able to mow along the fence, just because it'll make it easier to keep the grass from growing up so high along the fence, and it'll just be nicer. So easier to keep the place clean. So anyway, we got everything cut down. I'm gonna come in with the grapple and take this stuff out. I'm probably not gonna bother to film that because you've already seen me use the grapple. It's pretty fantastic, and I'll get things done a whole lot faster if I'm not filming it. So anyway, till next time, we'll see you soon.